This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
1 week you get to meet the president, and the next week you get to meet the vice president.
The job market is essentially flatlining here.
Are you able to do any salting at all?
Not really.
We've received everything from cat food to a chainsaw.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. The Vice President of the United States was in battleground Pennsylvania today with the midterm elections now less than a year away. It's got conservatives in PA reeling, President Trump in the Poconos last week, and J.D. Vance in the Lehigh Valley this week.
I got here at 4:30 a.m.
How cool is it that 1 week you get to meet the president, and the next week you get to meet the vice president?
Pennsylvania is a crucial state. This is a battleground state. We have to win it. We have to maintain the House.
Vance talking up the president's plan to make America affordable again.
I promise you, there is no person more impatient to solve the affordability crisis than Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States.
He offered a little tease of changes coming to health care as he spoke at a shipping supplies warehouse in Albertus, just south of Allentown.
For a woman who can't afford her prescription drugs because pharmaceutical companies are taking advantage of the United States of America. When you have to choose between putting food on the table or getting the prescription that you need to stay healthy, that is not a life that Donald Trump or I want for the citizens in the greatest country in the world.
President Trump just announced he's making an address to the nation at 9 p.m. tomorrow. The unemployment rate hit a 4-year high last month, up from 4.4 to 4.6%. Bankrate.com.
The job market is essentially flatlining here. This is within the context of 5 million people being hired a month, but we're not adding jobs.
64,000 jobs were created last month, but 105,000 were lost in October with the government shutdown. White House advisor Kevin Hassett.
Job number has stayed strong, even though we're being really fiscally tight.
He says the job market should improve as the economy absorbs President Trump's income from tariffs. Additional police are arriving in Rhode Island, covering schools to reassure worried parents that their kids will be safe with the Brown University shooter still on the loose. No suspect in custody yet, but police do believe they now have video of the face of the gunman.
New videos and photos show a person of interest wearing a hat, dark colors, and a mask covering most of his face.
The FBI is now offering a reward of $50,000 for information that can lead to the identification, the arrest of the individual responsible, who we believe to be armed and dangerous.
2 people were killed and more than half a dozen injured in Saturday's shooting. Now to Los Angeles. Police are being tight-lipped about the arrest of Rob Reiner's son, wanted in connection with the death of both of his parents. CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti.
We do know that the district attorney has until tomorrow to formally file those charges. Those charging documents could contain some vital information that could shed light on that motive. The key question right now, what exactly led up to the killing?
We were expecting a hearing, but Nick Reiner was not medically cleared to appear in court today. Promise from the Pentagon. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says tomorrow some members of 2 congressional committees will get a look at the full video of the U.S. attack on an alleged drug boat that initially had 2 survivors off the coast of Venezuela.
Of course, we're not going to release a top secret, full unedited video of that to the general public. Hask and appropriate committees will see it, but not the general public.
There is no vote expected before the end of the year on Obamacare subsidies, but House Speaker Mike Johnson spoke up today on a timeline to address the high cost of health care.
In the first quarter, January, February next year, you're going to see much more activity of this. The American people's attention is on health care for the obvious reason. It is a very serious problem.
And a new study finds heart patients are helped by being in a supportive relationship. Lead author Heather Tillich is a psychologist at the University of Ottawa Heart Institute.
People that are married, we know that they have better sort of health behaviors and outcomes just being married. But But we're now learning that there's some positive aspects if they have a supportive partner versus someone who's not supportive.
She says the benefits of being in a positive relationship are so pronounced that doctors should consider targeting their treatment to couples rather than just patients. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, rock salt shortages again, abortion expansion up for a vote in Pennsylvania, and blue Christmas services. We have details after weather.
Good evening. I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Tonight, cloudy to partly cloudy skies, low temperatures early near 20, but rising in some areas overnight. For tomorrow, partly sunny in central and eastern Pennsylvania, mostly cloudy, breezy elsewhere. High temps approaching 40. Thursday, some early sun, then cloudy, breezy, milder, high temps in the 40s again. Rain Thursday night, blustery, colder, rain flipping to some snow and flurries on Friday.
Thank you, Kevin. Checking the stories where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. Salt shortage. It is the 16th of December, and already contractors across the state of New York say they are running out of rock salt for the second year in a row.
So this is all you've got?
That's all we got left right now. Yep.
Are you able to do any salting at all?
Not really.
THM Property Maintenance in Henrietta told WHEC it's odd to be out in December.
I have no idea. We ordered it last Tuesday and last Wednesday for 2 loads, and they turned around and said, okay, it's ordered, and then Friday they called and said, nope, it's been canceled.
Rock salt shortages got so bad last year that most private contractors were completely out by January 9th. A little more on our top story today, the vice president making a pit stop in Lehigh County, Pennsylvania. J.D. Vance offering a promise for those about to file tax returns.
You are going to have middle-class Americans, middle-class Pennsylvanians, some of the best tax season in 2026 that you've ever had.
After the speech, he toured Allentown Rescue Mission, a Christian homeless shelter and rehabilitation center for men, where he donned a hairnet and dished up plates of turkey and ham alongside his wife, Usha. Just days before Christmas, Pennsylvania Democrats are rushing abortion expansion bills to the floor for a vote. Final passage of the House legislation is set for tomorrow. These proposals allow for abortion through all 9 months of pregnancy and shield abortion providers from medical malpractice lawsuits. Abortions in Pennsylvania are at a 14-year high. 35,000 are performed annually in the Commonwealth. Complications from abortion have tripled in Pennsylvania the past 6 years. Pennsylvania's top law enforcement official is defending the state's right to enact their own AI regulations.
I'm the Pennsylvania Attorney General, and my job is to do everything I can to protect citizens, keep people safe, keep kids safe.
Dave Sunday's comments came just days after President Trump signed an executive order that prevents states from enacting their own regulations regarding artificial intelligence. Sunday's concerned about the rise of chatbots that assist in the proliferation of pornography and other things. Next at 5, hometown heroes on Family Life. This week's guest, Pastor John Horton, who oversees Bayview Chapel in Hamburg, New York. He's one of many pastors offering blue Christmas services intended to comfort those whose Christmas coincides with a personal season of grief. He spoke to our own Mark Webster. Let's listen in.
Blue Christmas service. They seem to be rising in popularity. I see more and more churches doing it every year. What's the motivation behind it?
Well, I think a lot of us who work in ministry are spending time with people who are maybe in the middle of a physical struggle. Maybe they're being treated for cancer. Maybe they lost a loved one this year. And so for some of us, Christmas is a joyous season, but for others, it's really hard. And so I think Blue Christmas service is an accommodation for that.
This is kind of counterintuitive on its face. I mean, Christmas time, joy, lights, everybody's happy, but not everybody's happy. It can be really torturous for some folks.
It can. I was speaking to one of our parishioners. I said, are you going to enjoy the holidays? And he said, no, it'll be really hard. And then I remembered doing his father-in-law's funeral, and I thought, oh, I had forgotten, but they hadn't forgotten. And so it was going to be a hard Christmas for them.
There's always been situations in life that have hit people and made Christmas difficult, but I guess only now really the recognition is coming where churches and other counselors are recognizing just how difficult that situation can be for people.
I hope it's a move for all of us to move toward encouraging our people to be authentic. Like sometimes somebody will say, how you doing on a Sunday morning? And sometimes the answer is not very well. is the truth.
That's true. It's a perfunctory question. We always just say, yeah, how's it going? But no one really wants the answer because you don't know what sort of hornet's nest you might be stepping into there. There's no shortage of scripture that addresses grief and lament, right? It's a huge theme.
Yeah. So this year, for our Blue Christmas here at Revive Wesleyan, I'm going to use part of the Christmas story, the story of Elizabeth and Zechariah, who were going through a difficult time. They were unable to dealing with fertility issues and disappointed because God had not answered their prayers. And so just that little part that God, even when we don't feel like it, God does hear our prayers. And then Zechariah had allowed his disappointment to turn into bitterness. And we can all do the same thing. And so I'm going to encourage them to not let their disappointment turn to bitterness. So if you're looking for it, there's a lot of passages.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Take us through briefly. How do you structure that to accommodate people and to really address their grief?
Yeah, so we designed it as purposefully a very simple service. We greet people and explain to them what our purpose is for the night and pray. We have a couple of songs that are purposefully chosen to be more thoughtful, and we use guitars and kind of an acoustic feel to the music. I'll do a brief meditation, 8 to 10 minutes at the most. And I think the most important part of the service is while people are waiting, they write down some of the burdens that they're carrying, some of the things they're struggling with as they're waiting for the service to begin. And then at the end of the service, they bring them up and put them around the Christmas tree. And then Pastor Trevor from our South Creek Church will pray a prayer of healing over them. And then we stick around afterwards. And if people want individual prayer, we do that as well.
What sort of experiences might you be able to relate from prior Blue Christmas services? It's got to be pretty emotionally charged.
Yeah, you never know. Sometimes 3 or 4 people will come in. They're part of a support group of ladies who all lost their husbands, and they come to encourage each other. We've had families come in that have lost babies, and so sometimes the grief is real fresh and tender. And again, we offer to pray with them, and God wants to take all of us on a healing journey. So that prayer time at the end, that's really the high point.
That's Pastor John Horton and Blue Christmas Services. You can subscribe, listen to, and share Hometown Heroes and all of Family Life's original podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or at familylife.org.
Ananias and Sapphira wanted the reputation of generosity without the reality of sacrifice. Hi, I'm Rob West with the Faith and Finance Minute. In Acts 5, they sold property and claimed to give all the proceeds to the apostles, but secretly kept some for themselves. They didn't have to give everything. God never required that. Their sin wasn't stinginess, it was deception. They wanted the praise that comes with sacrificial giving without the surrender it requires. It's the same heart we see in Judas. When Mary anointed Jesus with expensive perfume, Judas pretended to care about the poor, but John tells us he didn't care for the poor. He wanted the money for himself. Jesus doesn't want empty gestures. He wants your heart, because when he truly has your heart, generosity will follow naturally. Get biblical answers to your financial questions in the Faith-Fi community. Download Faith-Fi, Faith and Finance in your app store or visit faithfi.com.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, 100 Amazon deliveries straight to your door. That story after weather.
Good evening. I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. A little break from the bitter cold upon us. More moderate temperatures are ahead. We will watch a disturbance coming in, though, with some spots of flurries and sprinkles midweek, but more notably a front coming in late week will bring us rain and wind Thursday night into Friday morning, and the colder air will flip that rain back to snow and flurries Friday afternoon and night. Our call for tonight, cloudy to partly cloudy skies, low temperatures early near 20, but rising the temperatures will in some areas overnight. For tomorrow, partly sunny in central and eastern Pennsylvania, mostly cloudy, breezy elsewhere. High temps approaching 40. Thursday, some early sun, then cloudy, breezy, milder, high temps in the 40s again. Rain Thursday night, blustery, colder, rain flipping to some snow and flurries on Friday.
All right, Kevin, finally at 5, plenty of package deliveries for one woman in Washington, D.C. So many, in fact, the neighbors must think she's really overdoing online Christmas shopping, but it's not her fault. The woman tells WRC-TV over the past 6 months she's gotten more than 100 Amazon packages meant for a D.C. hotel a mile away.
We've received everything from cat food to vitamin supplements to even a chainsaw.
That does beg the question, who gets a chainsaw delivered to their hotel room?
Luckily, that guest came to pick it up, but we did not ask questions, nor did we answer the door.
The mix-up is because there's only a single character difference between her address and the hotel address. The hotel says they're working with Amazon to straighten things out. And that's the world that we live in for Tuesday, the 16th of December. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.